Hello folks, I'm PK and I'm back here to talk about Soccer World Cup 2018. Today I'm going through a terrible allergy crisis, but I'm going to try my best. First, I'm going to talk about Group F and Group E. You know that both groups have reached an end, have reached a conclusion. Mexico play against Sweden in a battle that I expected a lot from the Mexican team. I've mentioned many times this is perhaps the best ever team Mexico ever had, with players like Lozano, like Carlos Vela, like Salcedo back there, with Jonathan Santos, with Giovanni Santos, which have not been used by their coach. And the Swedish team, the team that lost to Germany, showing that they were played without guts. They were kind of a respect too much Germany, and they ended up losing in the end of the match. And they had previously beaten South Korea by 1-0. It's kind of a bureaucratic team that has not shown a lot of this World Cup. So I expect more from the Mexican team that did not show up for the occasion. Swedish team played much better, actually, constantly attacking with Toivonen and Berg, like really bringing a lot of work to a show that actually made many saves. And then Chicharito touched the ball in a clear penalty. The referee did not think this way, did not give the penalty to Mexico, that was able to finish the first half in 0-0. And this result would actually qualify Mexico in the first place, because the other match would be played between South Korea and Germany. We all expected Germany would have the upper hand in that match. The teams came back, and the Swedish kept putting pressure. They needed the victory to qualify. And in the fifth minute of the second half, they scored the first goal through Augustinsson. They received a great pass from Claesson. In 5 minutes, they were ahead of the score with 1-0. Mexico got a little concerned, but they knew that even the 1-0 could give them the qualification for the second round. But then there's another penalty. This time the referee saw it and gave the PK for the Swedish. They scored. The Nordish team scored at minute 17 with Grenqvist. He actually has scored 2 penalties in this World Cup. Hit the ball really hard. With a 2-0 lead, Mexico knew that they were in big trouble. They started attacking. They put pressure against the Swedish, but in a very unorganized way. And then finally, minute 29 of the second half, Alvarez made a terrible play and scored against his own goal in a ridiculous way, giving the Swedish 3-0, and this score would say goodbye to Mexico, because we knew that Germany should have beaten South Korea. But then the unexpected happened. The Germans played terribly against South Korea. They did not even start with Müller, putting Werner up there. We don't know if it's a punishment for the way Müller has been playing, or because they thought that they were going to win very easily and they decided to rest the player, whatever. Just Germany played terrible. They did not show anything strategically. They're just trying to keep centering balls. The Korean team was faster and actually had more dangerous plays throughout the first half. They came back for the second half. Coach Lowe made some changes, put Mario Gomez for Khedira, minute 58, and put Miller for Goretzka, and put Brand for Actor, who's actually a fullback, put like a forward midfielder there. But nothing changed. The Germans kept putting pressure, but they could not create any opportunity, any clear opportunities. Show the goalie, the South Korean goalie is a good goalie. He made some good saves, but nothing really that could cause trouble for the Korean defense. And then at the very end, Kim scored a goal, minute 92, ready in the overtime, and then it was a kind of a polemic situation. The referee had to go look at the VAR to see what happened, and actually they thought it was offside, but the ball had come from the defense, so there was not offside. The goal was granted to South Korea. They were very happy to celebrate as they had won the World Cup. After all, this is a historical moment for South Korea to defeat the very powerful German. And then German kept attacking. Neuer tried to play in the midfield. He lost the ball, and the South Koreans scored the second goal with Son Heung-min in the minute 96, and the disaster for the Germans. People have been talking the Germans had like a project, a special project, like they're going to win every World Cup. But the fact is that they lost great players like Lahm, like Podolski, like Schweinsteiger. And this team that is over there is an ordinary team that played a terrible cup, lost to Mexico, should have lost to Sweden, and now lost to South Korea, and they're going back. And I'm sure they're going to be strong within the next 4 years, because Germany is a powerhouse of soccer. In Group E, Brazil play against Serbia in a match that Brazil needed a tie to qualify. The Serbs needed to win. People talk about the crosses, like the Serbian team was much taller than the Brazilian team. The Brazil team was faster and better. They scored the first goal with Paulinho, who this time showed up for the occasion. He hadn't been playing not up to his level, but he scored with a beautiful pass from Felipe Coutinho. Neymar played better. He kept his mouth shut during this match, and Brazil ended up beating the Serbs with the second goal scored by the great Thiago Silva, who played a fantastic match. There were 10 minutes that the Serbs put some pressure to test the Brazilian defense. The Brazilian defense show up and show them that they were quite strong, and Brazil won the match 2-0, qualifying in the first place, and they will play Mexico for the Sweet 16. And the other match, Switzerland played Costa Rica, and Costa Rica, a completely attitude change, and using Campbell, had been sitting on the bench on the first two matches, after the two losses that Costa Rica had to Brazil and to Serbia. This time they really came up, played really well for the first 25 minutes, bombarded the great goalie, Sommer, who made an amazing match. But then at minute 31, because they did not score the goal, Dzamali scored a goal for the Swiss. Not a good match for Shakar Shaqiri. They did not show up for the occasion. Great match for Borges, for Gamboa, for Colindres, and Ruiz and Campbell, who really created a lot of plays in the first half. They came back for the second half the same way. Swiss got a little better in the beginning, but then they took the control again. And then Waston scored with his head after pushing the defender, the Swiss defender, just exactly as they had done it to Brazil. So they tied the match at minute 56. And then after that, the Costa Rican team stayed playing better soccer than the Swiss, who finally, Dimic scored at minute 88, the goal that would give the Swiss the victory in a very unfair match. But then there were two penalties, one in Brian Ruiz, who made a beautiful play. The referee thought he was offside, didn't give the penalty, and then after, again, another penalty, minute 93, Ruiz took the shot, the ball hit Sommer's head and entered the goal. Given the tie, I think it was a fair match. Costa Rica saying goodbye in a very honorable way, I think, and Swiss qualify, and they're going to play the Sweden for the next match in the Sweet 16. We have 4 matches for tomorrow. We're going to start on Group G and F. We're going to start. Belgium will play England, and this is like a match for first place. It's also a match for the leading striker. It's going to be a battle between Kane and Lukaku. And Panama will play against Tunisia. Both teams are out of the cup. Just going to be more of a friendly match. I strongly believe that Tunisia has the upper hand. Panamanian team is just not there. In Group H, Polonia, in a very disappointing way, is already eliminated from the World Cup. They'll take upon Japan, of Nagamoto, of Osaka, of Yoshida, and Kagawa, in the historical moments from Japan. And if Japan win or tie, they will qualify and they move on to the World Cup. And the final last match between Senegal and Colombia. It's going to be a battle between Sadio Mane and James Rodriguez, but I think the Colombians have the upper hand, considering they have players like Quintero, Cuadrado, Rodriguez, and Falcão, but they need to win. So those are my considerations for today. I'll talk more soccer tomorrow. I'll see you next time.